dangerous, and he was divisive, and that it was unfortunate that he had this he is aligned with the domestic force. We're talking about the Proud Boys, the QAnon, the KKK, the Oath Keepers. All of these are now seated in the House of Representatives. And we have to put up with them. We've had to put up with them all during the 4 years that he was there. We're talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene and Beaupart. You've seen them. You understand what they're saying. And so this election is critical. It is consequential. This is the most important election that many of us will ever live to see. And I want you to know we need it now more than ever. We need it now more than ever because we've lost the Supreme Court. We've lost the Supreme Court. It has been corrupted. And so when you see them not only undermine us in ways that some of us have worked so hard for, they have undermined diversity and inclusion. We used to call it affirmative action, remember? And they said affirmative action was for these people who don't deserve to be upwardly mobile. That somehow you're getting something you don't deserve. And so we changed it, and it's diversity and inclusion. I created in my committee that I ran a diversity and subcommittee, and appointed someone to it, and we were gathering all of the data from all of the major corporations in America, learning exactly how they're organized, talking with them about upward mobility opportunities, and on and on and on. I share that with you because sometimes it seems that we're so removed from our community that we don't know what's going on, that we don't know that there are people who have everyday concerns. And sometimes it appears that it has nothing to do with Washington. But in essence, it has everything to do with Washington. I want you to know I am proud of what we were able to demonstrate to the American people with COVID. We put food on the table. I created the PPP program for our small businesses to have access to capital so that they could keep their employees. They could pay their overhead, on and on and on. And we showed the American people that we have the ability to do what is necessary to have a decent quality of life for all of the people if we are of a mind to do so. If we can work together across the aisle to be able to do so. And so we have a difficult time at this moment in the history of the House of Representatives. We are 5 short of a majority. And then 5 short of a majority, we can't get our bills to the president's desk. We can't get our public policy to the president's desk. We can't get done some of the things that we need to have done. There is a housing crisis in America. It is real. Every night here in our county, there are over 70,000 people who are on the street. In the United States, there are over 700,000 people who are on the street without shelter, without the security of a place to live. This is a real crisis that we have. And we know that in order to conquer this crisis, not only are we going to have the money that's appropriated so that we can do the kinds of things to build more affordable housing, to make sure young people are able to get into home ownership because we help them with the down payment, to make sure we get rid of discrimination and redlining and some of those things that are still going on. Fortunately for me, and hard work, HUD is in my committee. I was the chair of that committee before we lost in that last election. Now I'm the ranking member. I have HUD, and I have all of the financial services agencies. I have all of Wall Street. I have all of the banks. I have the SEC, the FDIC, we have the Treasury, and we have the Federal Reserve. We have all of that dealing with the money in this country and how it works. And we have to struggle very hard to make sure that we do everything that we can to protect the average person and their investment, do everything that we can to have some place that people can go and complain about the rip-offs in our community, the payday loans, and all of those people who are walking away with 300 and 400% interest on the little money that we borrow because we invested in and we need some help. Well, that's the kind of work that we do, and I lead in that kind of work. And I've been in office for a long time. I have a lot of experience. I know how to speak truth to power, and I don't mind saying what needs to be said in committee, on the floor, around our And so, when I talk about homelessness, I think it's on everybody's mind. Because we don't like stepping over mountains. We don't like going down Vermont, where the media is full of homeless and tents and people in the rain with the children with nowhere to go. We don't like that, and we want it taken care of. We're going to do everything that we can to get more money. We had a huge bill that we absolutely got out of the House and got onto the Senate, and it was killed by someone named Maxine and Cinema in Arizona and Maxine in Virginia for all kinds of reasons. But now I put in another bill, 3 bills, to be ready for when we take back the White House and when we take back the committee, to move these bills and put them on Kamala's desk so that they can get signed, so we can get more money to send to the cities and the towns in this country.
Yes.
That is number one priority. We still have work to do on health care. Many of you may have Obamacare, but the way that it's organized, it kept getting more and more expensive. But there are some of us who are talking about Medicare for everybody. That is a kind of a controversial issue. Some people don't like the idea of it, but I tell you what I do like. I like the idea that everybody has some access to health care. We are dying from preventable diseases, and it goes on and on and on. A lot of it is because we don't have the adequate health care that we should have. Some of it is about there are people who don't have the nutrition that they should have, and on and on and on. So we've got to fight to strengthen health care and make it available for everybody. In addition to that, I want you to know that there's something that Biden said that I love, and that is we've got to get more paid to our teachers. We've got to pay our teachers more money. All day with a great deal of influence, and many of them are struggling themselves. And so I'm looking forward to this legislation being a part of Kamala's agenda to try and do what we can. We send money to all of the cities and all of the towns. It is money that particularly goes to districts where the incomes of the people in those areas is not adequate in the way that it should be to take care of all the needs of the children. And some of the educators in the room may know about that. But we've got to do more than that. Now, I'm going to divert for a minute and take you to something called 2025. 2025 that was organized by the Heritage Foundation, a very conservative organization. It is the blueprint. It is the vision of Trump and the right-wing conservatives about what they want to do with this country. They want to close down and shut down the Department of Education. They want to kill Head Start. They want to undo organized labor and get rid of the increase in minimum wage and all of that. It goes all throughout the nation in the way that it wants to change the country and have it in their image. And it's a very conservative image. It is an image that does not believe that we have the responsibility to do everything that we can to make sure that everybody has a decent quality of life. And so they believe like Trump believes. When he talks about mega, he's talking about taking back this country, taking it back from whom? And for what? And what are you going to do with it? You Mr. Trump stole all of our classified information, took it to Mar-a-Lago, put it in your toilet in the bathroom, and you have thousands and thousands of pages, and we've discovered that you have had 7 conversations with Putin since you had all of our classified documents. I believe he's an asset to the Russians. This is dangerous. We have fought and worked too hard for civil rights, for equal equality, to make America a better place for everybody. And we can't go back. We're not going back. And so I want you to know this is what some of us are focused on. Now the Black Caucus is very strong. We have over 52 members, and we have the ability to stop something, to start something. We work with the Progressive Coalition. We have a coalition with Latinos and a coalition with some of the Asians. And we're working very hard to bring about the kind of justice and again, equality for all of the people. So what does that have to do with you here in Willowbrook every day looking at things that you think needs to be changed? It's got to be connected. What we do and what the state does, all of us should be about making sure that these communities have what they need. Now, we have again something I started out with that is known as earmarks or community project. And I was looking through what we had what we did for 2023. And I believe that we were able to deal with support for the Watts Willowbrook Clubhouse renovation project. And so I was able to find $500,000. The funding will be used to complete vital safety renovations at the Watts Willowbrook Clubhouse of the Boys and Girls Club of Metro LA. This project will help make the clubhouse a top-notch facility for the youth served by the Boys and Girls Club so they can focus on providing high-quality programs for their members, confident that they are in a safe, secure environment. Furthermore, it will enhance their ability to serve youth from some of the most marginalized communities in Los Angeles by offering nationally recognized programs, I believe. And so that's one of the efforts that we were able to do right away. And so I understand that there is a request in for 2025 from the Charles Drew University Safety and Security Enhancement Project and Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science. The purpose, the funding will be used to mitigate and address security gaps on campus, improve the ability to respond to emergencies, and enhance the surveillance capacity of all of the public to improve the health and safety of residents by providing them with reliable, that is not it, safety personnel. This project is an appropriate use of taxpayer funds because it will improve the university's ability to respond to security challenges, work closely with law enforcement, and protect faculty, staff, students, and the surrounding community. And so, we have also been able to fund something known as the Willowbrook Culvert Sewer Replacement Project. Now that actually is connected with the city of Compton. That is a $4 million program. And the purpose of that funding was to be used to replace the Willowbrook Culvert Sewer infrastructure and prevent hazardous overflows and backups. This project is an appropriate use of taxpayer funds because these improvements will be used to improve the health and safety of residents by providing them with reliable sewer infrastructure to deliver water and waste in a safe way. Now, we also have here Link Willowbrook and King Medical Center Shuttle Zero Emission Bus Project. The County of Los Angeles Department of Public Works submitted this request for $1,200,000, the funding to be used to replace 5 propane transit vehicles with zero-emission battery electric buses for the Link, Willowbrook, and King Medical Center shuttle transit services will provide service to the unincorporated Los Angeles County communities of Willowbrook. The CEBS will provide more reliable and higher quality service for disadvantaged communities in the impacted area while improving air quality. This project is an appropriate use of taxpayer funds because it will improve transit availability, reliability, and air quality. Now, because you are an unincorporated area, your requests come through the county. And so when you talk to the county about what your concerns are that require money, and I'm sure that the county is looking at all of the unincorporated areas, and each of the members of the County Board of Supervisors are looking out for their areas to see what the needs are, what the people are talking about, then they give it to us. Now this is above whatever the county does as a county. Additional money coming from the federal government to deal with some of the needs of the community. Now, unincorporated areas are different from cities and towns. In the cities, you got your mayors, you got your city council people, and they're the ones responsible for everything from trimming the trees and, cleaning sidewalks and on and on and on. But this is a big county. And there's a lot that the supervisors have to do. They have a lot to take care of. And so there's something on the ballot. Not everybody agree with it. I know the supervisors probably don't like it. But I voted yes, we need to expand the county so that they have fewer people that they have to do there. So that they can pay more attention in the community. When these 5 members have these big areas, it is very difficult to address all of the concerns. I don't know how it's going to come out on the ballot. This may be the first discussion, real discussion about it. But at least it is being put before the people, and you have to decide. How many people have gotten your ballots? How many people have returned it? How many people are like us old folks who say we love mailing our ballots in? It is good. But some of us just like to show up at the polls anyway. There were times when we had to count how many jelly were in a jar. Or we had to put a poll tag. So get out of the way and let me come to the poll. So that I can fill out my ballot, I can drop it in that slot and feel like I've done something. Towards my opinion. Yes, ma'am.
Want to do Q&A right now? Want to do Q&A questions from the audience?
In just a minute. I have to tell you, I'm like a preacher. And give me a microphone. You give me a microphone, I'm going to do a little preaching. But since you have interrupted,
Well, listen,
if you've interrupted, we're going to take some questions.
but first thing, thank you so much. I want to, before we take questions, Laura Richardson is here.
Yay!
I want to say last week, she was at Magic Johnson. It is critical that hopefully we have enough time to bring her up. We had an awesome audience, and she answered every question. So I want to thank you. And then we have, raise your hand, Steve Williams. Where you at? He's back here. Thanks for coming. Thank you for coming. He was also at Magic Johnson and took some heated questions and answered very well. Thank you. So at this time, what we want to do is have the questions. I want to make sure we get to each and every one. So if you have your questions, lay it on the questions, and let's move to the next one so everyone can have an opportunity. So there was a question over here.
I have no idea how this whole situation works out. Since you brought up teachers and giving them more money, getting them more money. Years ago, when we voted in the lottery, most of us voted in the lottery so that we could find the money to give to teachers. But it seems to me that since we got the lottery and billions of dollars are funneled into the lottery and they supposedly are giving money to the school districts, where's all the money that the government was supposed to be funneling into the school district? Seems like that money disappeared, and then we're just replacing it with the money from the lottery, and we still don't have the money.
Well, you just asked me a question about the state of California and state legislators. I'm in the federal government. We have nothing to do with the lottery. It was voted on and created years ago when I was in the state. And I do know that some of that money was supposed to be dedicated for education and to the schools. I don't know what has happened with the money and how it is working. From the federal government, we fund the schools, and particularly the schools that are in so-called disadvantaged communities. We give them more money. Laura, do you know anything about the state?
No, but we will find out.
Okay.
We will find out.
All right. Now, I want you to know that Ms. Richardson is about to be elected to the 35th Senate this year. And I want you to know that we have worked together. She was in the House of Representatives at one time. And now she's back because she just loved being of service to the people. And now she's going back to the state. And so I'm so pleased that she's here. And I don't know how he wants to handle this. We'll take a few more questions, and then maybe she will be able to speak. All right.
Go ahead, Ms. Ivey.
Okay, may not speak that well, I just had a stroke. But I want to ask you, as seniors, when we try to apply for assistance like in food stamps, Medicare, we get denied because my income is too high. Social Security, if I make a certain amount of money, I get penalized for that. Now that, and also the Section 8 housing for seniors. Unfortunately, if you don't meet a certain criteria, I'm so tired of hearing low income housing. No one can ever explain to me what is low income housing. And it's not fair because us as seniors, we're kind of being left behind. And we work, majority of us work all our lives. I started at the age of 16 working at Learner's department store up into the post office when I retired. But when I go to the store, I have to pay $5 and $6 for a loaf of bread. But my Social Security check is not up to the inflation of living in California. So on the government level, what are you going to do to help us seniors just make everyday living?
Let's talk about Social Security for a minute here. The first thing is, whenever the government is spending money on anything, there are rules, there's criteria. It is not an open funding of anything. They will say we have a program, and then when they develop the program, they talk about how much money the government will spend on it, and all of it is based on how much taxes you're collecting in the country that you can spend on water, that you can spend on roads, that you can spend on highways, that you can spend on Social Security. Even though Social Security is our money, it is in jeopardy. It is in jeopardy, and with Project 2025, they don't like Social Security being paid in the way that it is being paid. They think that you're going to be happy when they say the government should not control your Social Security. They should allow you to take that money and invest on Wall Street where you can make more money. Well, people do invest on Wall Street, they lose a lot of money.
That's right.
One of the things I like about Social Security is gonna be in your mailbox or in your bank account, and nobody can tell you what you can and cannot do with it. The thing that we have to do is save Social Security, because there are opposite side, the right wingers would like to change Social Security as we go in, and they're trying to frighten us to tell us we're gonna run out within another 10 years or so. So we have to fight to put Social Security at the top of our agenda and always resist any changes in Social Security. Yes, there are rules, and the rules are such that, of course, there's not enough money for everybody to be able to have a decent quality of life, but it is not an open door where everybody can get any amount of money that they absolutely need. And so you do get a cost of living increase every year. This cost of living has been one of the largest that we have seen. The last one was about 3%, I believe. And so, now, when you talk about housing, and you talk about affordable housing, we have put a lot of money into affordable housing, and we need a lot more. I'm a little bit worried as I travel around the city, around the county. I'm seeing a lot of units go up. You see it. They're going up on Vermont. They're going up on Crenshaw. And when I come off the plane at night, I don't see any lights in the building. We're building them, and still nobody can afford to have them. What? Look at the building as you pass them. So what we've got to do is, number one, we've got to do a better job of building really affordable housing. And I have come to the conclusion that the federal government must work closer with the cities, because the cities have land use responsibility. They control the land. What I want from all the cities is, I want to create the database. I want to know every vacant building. I want to know every lot that's not used. I want to know what you got, because we've got to make sure that the developers can build these units in a way that they will be affordable. If they have to pay a lot for the land, if they have to pay a lot for all of the changes that they will make in the cities, and sometimes what our cities do is things that they should be taking care of, they put it off on the developer. And the developer comes in, and the price of the units go up because of the materials. Now, we went through COVID, where we had a supply chain problem, where we couldn't get the supplies that we get from all over the world in order to keep the price down. And it's still up much higher than it should be. But working with the cities, I want to do several things. Not only do I want to create that database, so I know where all of the empty buildings are, where all of the open land is. I want you to have a one-stop shop, so that when the developers come in, they can get their permitting and their licensing. When it's held up, and this is what they complain about, for 2 years or so, the price keeps going up. And so, we have had the problem of zoning, not in my backyard, NIMBYs, you've heard about that. Now something is happening that I kind of like, and it is called YIMBY. YIMBYs is yes in my backyard. The NIMBYs and the YIMBYs have started to get together. When they get together, we deal with some of the zoning problems, some of the homeowner associations who say, do something about affordable housing. Just don't do it on my block. Just don't do it here in me. But when the YIMBYs and the NIMBYs and the YIMBYs get together, I think we're going to be able to solve some of those problems. So we have dedication to the whole business of housing, how to reduce the cost, how to expedite, how to make sure where there's land. Like the housing authority has land that it can give away. In Chicago, they're giving it to, some playgrounds and other things. We said no. You can give that land away, and this will bring down the cost of building affordable housing. We've got to find out about all of the housing authorities in this country and their ability to make that land available. So a lot of work goes into it, but when you have inflation, it really does seem that the money does not get what you need to get. It will not buy the same thing. Look, I like bacon, but I'm not going to pay $11 a pound for the bacon. And that's what it costs with inflation. Now, You've heard Pamela and you've heard Biden talk about inflation. What we discovered was because of inflation, there was gouging. And some of the retailers and wholesalers were charging more and gouging, and that's what they're going to wipe out. So the work is constant. It is constant. And I do believe, and I can honestly say, that while the Congress of the United States and many legislative bodies are divided on a lot of issues, most, like seniors and veterans, that's what get the most attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you.